Hello and welcome back, my lovely Lovecraftians, to a long-awaited tale of Borrasca. This time we're starting from the beginning. Well, it's a long story, but one you've never heard before. This story is about a place that dwells on the mountains, a place where bad things happen, and you may think you know about the bad things. You may decide you have it all figured out, but you don't. Because the truth is worse than monsters or men. At first, I was upset when they told me we were moving to some little town out in the Ozarks. I remember staring at my dinner plate while I listened to my sister throw a temper tantrum unbefitting of a 14-year-old honor student. She cried, she pleaded, and then she cursed at my parents. She threw a bowl at my dad and told him it was all his fault. Mom told Whitney to calm down, but she stormed off, slamming every single door in the house on the way to her room. I secretly blamed my dad as well. I'd heard the whispers too. My father had done something terribly wrong, something bad, and the sheriff's department had resigned him to some little out-of-the-way country to save face. My parents didn't want me to know that, but I did. I was 9, so it didn't take me long to warm to the idea of change. It was like an adventure. New house, new school, new friends. Whitney, of course, felt the opposite. Moving to a new school at her age is hard. Moving away from her new boyfriend, however, was even harder. While the rest of us unpacked and packed our things and said our goodbyes, Whitney sulked and cried and threatened to run away from home. But a month later, when we pulled up to our new house in Drisking, Missouri, she was sitting right next to me, texting viciously on her phone. Thankfully, we moved over the summer, and I had months of free time to explore the town. When Dad started his new job at the sheriff's office, Mom drove us around the city, commenting on this and that. The city was much, much smaller than St. Louis, but also a lot nicer. There were no bad areas. The entire town looked like something you'd see on a postcard. Drisking was built in a mountain valley surrounded by healthy forest land with walking trails and crystal clear lakes. I was 9. It was summer, and this was heaven. We'd only been living in Drisking a week or so when our next door neighbor came to introduce themselves, Mr. and Mrs. Landy, and their 10-year-old son, Kyle. While our parents talked and drank mimosas, I watched the Landy lanky red-headed son hung out in the doorway, shyly eyeing the PS2 in the living room. Do you play? I asked. He shrugged. Nah, not really. Do you wanna? I just got Tekken 4. Kyle glanced at his mom, who had been handed her third mimosa. Yeah, sure. And that afternoon, with the ease and simplicity of our age, Kyle and I became best friends. We spent the cool summer mornings outside exploring the Ozarks, and the hot afternoons in my living room playing the PS2. He introduced me to the only other kid in the neighborhood our age, a skinny, quiet girl named Kimber Diastro. She was shy, but friendly and always up for anything. Kimber kept up with us so well that she quickly became the third wheel on our tricycle. With my dad at work all the time, my mom consumed with her new friendships, and my sister locked in a room all day. The summer was ours to take, and take it we did. Kyle and Kimber showed me where all the best hiking trails were, which lakes were the best and most accessible by bike, and where the best stores were in town. By the time the first day of school rolled around in September, I knew I was home. On the last Saturday before school started, Kyle and Kimber told me they were gonna take me somewhere special. Somewhere we hadn't been yet. The Triple Tree. What's a Triple Tree? I asked. It's a totally awesome, totally huge treehouse out in the woods, Kyle said. Pfft, whatever, Kyle. Come on, you guys. If there was a freaking treehouse, you would have shown me already. Nuh-uh. We wouldn't have, Kyle shook his head. There's a ceremony for first-timers and everything. Kimber nodded eagerly in agreement, her dark orange curls bouncing off her tiny shoulders. Yeah, it's true, Sam. If you enter the treehouse without the proper ceremony, you'll disappear and then you'll die. My face fell. Now I knew that they were making fun of me. That's a lie. You guys are lying to me. No, we're not, Kimber insisted. Yeah, we'll show you. We just have to get a knife for the ceremony, and we'll go, stated Kyle. What? Why do you need a knife? Is it a blood ceremony? I whispered. No way, Kimber promised. You just say some words and carve your name into the triple tree. Yeah, it only takes 1 minute, Kyle agreed. And it's a really cool treehouse, I asked. Oh yeah, Kyle promised. Okay, I guess I'll go. I'll do it then. Kyle insisted on using the same knife he used during his own ceremony. But we paid a price to get it. Miss Laney just happened to be home with her youngest son, Parker. Despite Kyle's many objections, his mother insisted he take his 6-year-old brother with him. Mom, we're going to the treehouse. It's only for older kids. Parker can't go. I don't care. If you're going to see an Exorcist movie marathon, you're taking your brother with you. I need a break, Kyle. You understand that. And I'm sure your friends won't mind. She flashed Kimber and me a challenging look. Right? No, not at all, Kimber said, and I nodded in agreement. Kyle made a loud, dramatic sigh and called his brother. Parker, put your shoes on. We're leaving now. I'd met the youngest Landley several times before and found out that he was unlike his older brother in looks, as in disposition. Where Kyle was wild, excitable fireball with hair to match, I found Parker to be an anxious, fidgety boy with small eyes and dark brown hair. We got on our bikes and made our way to a lesser-known hiking trail a few miles away. I'd asked before where the trail led when we'd ridden across it several weeks before, and Kyle had given me an underwhelming answer of, nowhere interesting. We pulled up to the trailhead and leaned our bikes against the wooden signpost which read, West Rim Prescott Ore Trail. Why are so many trails around here named Prescott? I asked. Is this Prescott Mountain or something? Kimber laughed. No, dummy. It's because of the Prescotts, you know. The family that lives in the mansion up on Valmount. Mr. Prescott and his son Jimmy own, like, half the businesses in town. More than half, Kyle agreed. Which ones? Does he own the GameStop? The only store in Drisking I really cared about. I don't know about that one. Kyle wound a lock around the 4 bikes and clicked the bar into place, then spun the numbers on the dial. But like the hardware store, the pharmacy, Gilton's on 2nd, and the newspaper. Did they start in this town, I asked? Nah, mine started the town. I think they... I wanna go home. Parker had been so quiet, I completely forgotten he was there. You can't go home. Kyle rolled his eyes. Mom said I had to bring you. Now come on. It's only like a 2-mile walk. I want to take my bike, Parker answered. Too bad. We're going off trail. I don't want to go. I'll stay with the bikes. Don't be such a wussy. I'm not. Kyle, be nice, Kimber hissed. He's only 5. He's only 5. I'm 6, Parker objected. I'm sorry. 6. You're 6. Kimber smiled at him. Alright, fine. He can hold your hand if he wants, but he's coming. Kyle turned and started up the trail. Parker's face fell into an undignified frown, but when the charming Kimber struck her hand out and wiggled her fingers at him, he took it. Kyle was right. It wasn't a long walk, only a half a mile down the trail, and then another half-mile hike on a well-tread path up the mountains. It was a steep climb, and by the time we got to the treehouse, I was winded. What do you think? Kyle said excitedly. It's... I studied the tree as I caught my breath. It's pretty awesome. I smiled. And it was. They hadn't lied. The treehouse was the biggest I'd ever seen. It had multiple rooms, and there were actual curtains in the window. A sign above the door said, Amber Caught Fort, and a rope ladder hung below the threshold, missing several planks. I'm going up first, yelled Parker, but Kimber caught his arm. You have to do the ceremony first, or you'll disappear, she reminded him. That'll be fine by me, Kyle grumbled. I was eager to get into the fort myself. Give me the knife. I held up my hand. Kyle smiled and dug the switchblade out of his pocket. There's some space in the back to carve your name. I opened up the knife, walked around the tree, looking for an empty spot. There were so many names on the tree that I had to crunch down and look near the bottom since I couldn't reach any higher. I spotted both Kyle and Kimber's carvings on the tree, and I finally found a spot I liked near the ladder. I bit my tongue and carved Sam W. into a blank piece of bark underneath someone's named Paul S. Parker. Went next, but he had so much trouble with the knife that Kyle had to do it for him. Alright, let's go. I ran over to the rope ladder. Wait, Kyle yelled. You have to say the words first. Oh yeah? Okay. What are they? Kimber sang them out. Underneath the triple tree, there is a man who waits for me, and I should go, I'll go, should I stay? My fate's the same, either way. That's creepy, I said. What does it mean? Kimber shrugged. No one knows anymore. It's just a tradition. Okay. Can you say it one more time slower? Underneath the triple tree, there is a man who waits for me. And should I go or should I stay? My fate's the same either way. Once Parker and I had recited the poem, we were ready to go. I climbed the rope ladder first and took stock of my new surroundings. The treehouse was more or less empty. Just a dirty rug here and there and some trash. Old soda cans, beer cans, and fast food wrappers. I went room to room, 4 in total, and found nothing of real interest until the last one. An old mattress lay in the corner, and piles of musty, ripped clothing scattered the floor. Did a hobo live here? I asked. Nah, this room's been like that for as long as I can remember, Kyle said from the doorway behind me. It smells gross, I said. Kimber walked up to the threshold but refused to go any further. It's not a smell that freaks me out, it's that. She pointed at the ceiling, and I raised my eyes to read what was written there. Roads to the gate of hell. Mile marker 1. What does it mean, I asked. It's just some older kids trying to be dicks, Kyle said. Come on, I'll show you the best part of the treehouse. We walked back into the first room, and Parker looked up at us and smiled, pointed down to what he clumsily carved into the wooden floor. Fart? Kyle read. That's hilarious, Parker. He rolled his eyes, but his little brother didn't pick up on the sarcasm and smiled proudly. Kimber sat down on the floor next to Parker, and I sat on his other side. Kyle took the knife from his brother, and then walked across the room and wedged the blade between 2 planks of the wooden wall. He pushed, and the board gave, opened up a small, secret compartment in the wall. Kyle took something out and pushed the plank back in until it was flush with the others. Check it out. He turned around and proudly held up 2 cans of Miller Lite beer. Whoa, I said. Ew. Warm beer? That's gross. How did you even know it was there? Kimber asked. Phil Saunders told me. Are we gonna drink it? I asked. Hell yeah, we're gonna drink it. Kyle came and sat down in our circle, popped over the first beer, and offered it to Kimber. She eyed it like he was trying to hand her a dirty diaper. Come on, Kimmy. Don't call me that. She yelled at him and then reluctantly took the open beer. She smelled it and made a face, pinched her nose, and took a small swig. Kimber shuddered. That was even grosser than I imagined. I don't want any. I'll tell Mom, Parker said quickly, as the beer passed in front of him to me. Good, 'cause you ain't getting any, Kyle promised, and you won't tell Mom shit. I put on my best poker face and took a long, deep swallow of the warm beer before I had the chance to smell it. It was a poor decision, and when I retched, the foul yellow liquid went all over my short. Oh man, now I'm gonna smell like beer. We spent the next hour and a half drinking the 2 cans of Miller Lite, and after a while the taste grew more tolerable. I couldn't tell if I was becoming a man or actually getting drunk. I hoped it was the former. When the last drop of the last beer was consumed, we spent 20 minutes trying to determine if we were drunk. Kyle assured us that he was wasted, while Kimber wasn't sure. I didn't think I was, but I failed all of our drunk tests. Kimber was in the middle of reciting the alphabet backwards when a loud metallic growling suddenly pierced the calm mountain's air like a gunshot. Kimber stopped talking, and we went and spent a few minutes staring at each other, waiting for the noise to end. Parker curled into Kimber and put his hands over his ears. After what seemed like 10 whole minutes, the sound ended suddenly as it happened. What was that? I asked, and Parker mumbled something into Kimber's sweatshirt. Do you guys know? I tried again. Kimber sat at her feet as she crossed and uncrossed them. Well? It's nothing, Kyle answered finally. We hear it sometimes in town. It's, like, not a big deal. It's just louder up here. But what's making that sound? Borrasca, Kimber whispered without taking her eyes off her feet. Who's that? I asked. Not who. Where? Kyle answered. It's a place. Another town? No, it's just a place in the woods. Oh. Bad things happen there, Kimber said, more to herself than me. Like what? Bad things, Kimber repeated. Yeah, don't ever try to find it, dude, Kyle said behind me, or bad things will happen to you too. But like, what bad things? I turned around, Kyle shrugged, and Kimber stood up and walked over to the rope ladder. We'd better go. I have to get home to my mom, she said. We climbed down the ladder, one by one, and then started the walk back to the trail in an unfamiliar silence. I was dying of curiosity about Borrasca, but couldn't decide if and what to ask about it. So, who lives there? Where? Kyle asked. Borrasca? The skinned men, Parker answered. Kyle laughed. Only babies believe that. Like men who are skinned? Like their skin is gone? I asked excitedly. Yeah, that's what some kids say. Most of us stopped believing in that, though. When we turned double digits, Kyle said. I looked back at Kimber, who was still 9 like me, but she was staring down the trail, ignoring us. That seemed to be the end of the conversation. And by the time we reached our bikes, the awkwardness was gone, and we were giggling, trying to decide if we were too drunk to bike home. School started 2 days later, and I'd completely forgotten about Borrasca. When my dad pulled up to the curb to drop me off that morning, he locked the doors before I could get out. Not so fast, he laughed. As your father, I get the privilege of giving you a hug and telling you to have a good first day of school. But Dad, I gotta meet Kyle by the flag before first bell. And you will, but give me a hug first. In a few years, you'll be driving yourself to school. Let me be your dad while I still can. Fine, I said, exasperated, and leaned over to give my dad a quick hug. Thank you. Now go meet your friend. Your mom will be waiting here to pick you up at 3:40. I know, Dad. Why can't I take the bus like Whitney? When you're 12, you can take the bus. He smiled and unlocked the doors. Until then, I get to drop you off in the mornings. If you think you make you look cooler, you can ride in the back seat behind the cage. Dad, just don't. I threw open the doors of his cruiser before he could say anything more, and ran as he laughed behind me. And that's where we'll leave off. This time, on Borrasca. Some say it's an urban legend. Others call it creepypasta. Some even say it's based on a true story. Borrasca is a tale of a place unbeknownst to me and you, my Lovecraftian. But as we dive deeper, I'd love to hear your theories. What ails you the most about uncharted territories? And, of course, your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Overall, so far, I'm invested in the first book of Borrasca. I love the story building of the friendships, the move, and being together in the treehouse and hearing the first sounds of Borrasca. I also get Silent Hill vibes from the story. But until next time, my lovely Lovecraftians, bye-bye.